Hello, and thank you for listening to this Ringside Report Network podcast today. You can find more in-depth, exclusive written content on our website at ringsidereport.net. Before I hand it off to Dave and the team, I want to remind you that we are a listener-supported creator team. On our website, we would appreciate it if you supported our sponsors or purchased our exclusive merch. Branded clothing, mugs, and even jiu-jitsu gear, which are available only in our store. You can become a recurring supporter of our content at membership.ringsidereport.net. This, along with all our podcasts, is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon, iHeart, and TuneIn, wherever you get your podcasts. It would help us immensely if you left a positive review on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Thank you for your support and enjoy the show.
We're reviewing SmackDown. John Cena cuts a heel promo on Raw, and Jon Moxley gets nailed on Dynamite. Johnny North is here. It's Wrestling Uncensored. Let's do it. On Johnny North.
Layfield. I think it's important when you say that Moxley got nailed, that he actually got nails, as in he didn't get nailed in another particular way. I think it's important you say that, because nail could mean so many different things, right?
I don't know. I mean, to me, it's when a man gets suplexed on a bat or piece of wood full of nails. That's what nailed means in my books. I don't know what you're talking about.
That was quite surprising. I mean, I don't know what you guys thought. To me, that was the most shocking moment of the week, without question.
Oh, yeah.
Like I mentioned that to you right away when that happened. I was shocked. Like, I think it definitely got my attention. I think it's taking it too far, which they love to do, but I understand why they do it. But
interesting. Okay,
yeah, I think that...
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, just to me, like, that was beyond gruesome. When they tried to take the nails out, you could feel, like, I felt the crowd right there when they tried to do that. And the crowd was kind of like being repulsed by the whole situation, because it felt like his skin was going to be completely ripped off his back when that happened. I don't know if you guys felt that kind of situation when that happened, but
it was gross.
Yep. Gross is a pretty accurate word, I think, for it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was gross. Wasn't exactly what I like in pro wrestling, but I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was kind of cool. I was like, yeah, violence. You gotta separate yourself from the pack. You gotta be a little bit different. And we'll talk about AEW a little bit later on, John. But we'll talk about Dynamite and everything that happened there. Whatever happened there. And we are here. We are live. It's Friday, and we've seen SmackDown already. We've seen it, which is great. I'm seeing the WWE's Twitter going like, LA Knight against Braun Strowman next week. This LA Knight match just ended. And I'm like, yeah, this ended hours ago. We've seen it. I love that we get SmackDown before the States. It's crazy. The whole world is getting SmackDown before the States, which is very, very unusual. So it's nice to have seen SmackDown, have it be 9 o'clock, and have seen all 3 hours of SmackDown already. Usually it would be an hour into SmackDown, and now it's done. We've seen it all.
I think it's great that we can say right now, spoilers, like if you haven't watched SmackDown yet, because there's still 2 hours left, I guess, for people in the States, we have seen it all, and we are going to talk about it. Too bad.
Yeah. And we're actually going to talk about the best thing that happened on SmackDown, because it wasn't a great show, and I want to talk about the main event promo segment, because what else happened on this thing?
Well, things happen, that's for sure. We call it great, yeah. No. I think the fans loved it, without question. The fans have been fantastic in Europe. I think you can agree to that. Like, even Raw, I thought, not the greatest show in the world, but the fans made it good. So, and I think we talked about this too last week too. SmackDown, not the greatest show, but the fans were fantastic. So it kind of made up for bad matches.
Yes. But did it? Like, the fans are really hyped. But when you're watching the show, you're like, man.
Some house show level.
It's not very interesting. It's kind of boring.
I don't disagree. It wasn't the greatest. Like, again, 3 hours of SmackDown, we never needed that. I think 2 hours was fine. Ever since it's gone 3 hours, SmackDown has taken a huge nosedive, in my opinion, in terms of the quality. And it feels like why did so many matches didn't need to go to commercial break? And I think the Street Profits match went 2 commercial breaks.
Yeah.
Didn't need to happen. Didn't need to, it was just way too long, a lot of the matches.
I mean, Street Profits and Los Garzas, it took forever, right? Piper Niven and Zelina Vega. You had Liv Morgan and Jade Cargill. That was, not great. And then Naomi interfered and helped Liv win. And then Naomi attacked Jade afterwards. Naomi and Jade feud keeps going. Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu was, not bad for a bit. But then Solo and Tommy Tonga came in and caused a DQ win for Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman winning that match, getting himself a title shot for the U.S. title at LA Knight next week on SmackDown. And Jacob Fatu was mad at Solo and Tommy Tonga for causing him to lose, which, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
It's a title shot. What were they doing? And Damian Priest and Big Jim beat Shinsuke Nakamura and Drew McIntyre. Drew attacked Damian Priest after the match. All the matches were just kind of not great, and a lot of them had screwy finishes.
Yeah, that definitely happened a lot. The kind of the same repetitive interference that happened over and over again that wasn't great, and it makes the referees look kind of stupid when they never do anything about it. That was bad. I didn't mind the Liv Morgan Jade Cargill match. For Jade's first match back in a while, I thought it was all right, and I feel like you see Liv getting better every match. So I thought that match was all right. Maybe obviously not the greatest thing to see, but on this show where you could pretty much skip on everything, that one was at least something to watch, I thought.
You could pretty much skip everything. It's a pretty fair statement about tonight's SmackDown. I think you watch the opening segment, you watch the closing segment, and everything in the middle you could skip.
I thought the
Tiffy Charlotte promo.
I thought it was interesting as far as
promos.
It felt a little bit shoot-like, and you kind of maybe see where the creative is going. Maybe they're kind of angling towards a Charlotte win as well. Yeah,
I liked Charlotte and Tiffy's promo. I thought Tiffy had a couple good lines, but Charlotte seemed to be in control of that side-by-side split-screen promo that they did. I thought that was all right. But you had 3 promos on this show that were worth watching, that were interesting, and then the rest was filler. Just for the crowd, because it felt like a house show, just giving you matches because, we're in your town and you're going to be excited for whatever, so we're going to give you whatever.
Yeah, they're happy to see the Garzas.
They're happy to see anybody. They're happy to see anybody.
Nobody gets a go-away heat.
Randy Orton opens the show. Crowd goes nuts, singing his song in Bologna, Italy. Kevin Owens comes out, and he's like, "Oh, Randy, let's be friends. All this stuff. We should be cool. We got to progress. You're a good guy. We should be tag team champions at WrestleMania. What do you say? You and me team up again and win the tag titles." And Randy's like, "You can shove your apology up your ass. I'm going to kick your head off at WrestleMania." So I guess they're going to wrestle. That was made official, I guess, tonight. So that was worth watching, right? That was something.
Solid open, I thought. I thought Kevin's delivery was great. Randy was good, too. That's all you really need from that. That was fine.
Yeah. And then you had Priest and Big Jim against Nakamura and Drew, and it was like, all right. Then you had the Tiffy and Charlotte promo, which was pretty good. And then you had Braun and Jacob, which was just, not great, screwy finish. Then you had Liv Morgan and Raquel doing a backstage promo. Jacob mad at Solo and Tommy Tonga. Piper Niven beating Zelina Vega with help from Alba Fire and Chelsea Green. Like, that match took forever, too. But the crowd just eating it up because they've never had SmackDown before, ever. So, of course, they're going to eat it up. They can't believe WWE's in their city. They're doing shows in Brussels and Bologna and Barcelona. When have we ever seen TV from these markets? Never. So, of course, the crowd's going nuts. But I've watched SmackDown on TV before, and I know that this episode wasn't very good. I've watched hundreds of episodes of SmackDown on TV, and this one that I watched on TV wasn't great. And I've also been to several episodes of SmackDown TV tapings in person, and if I had paid what they paid for this, I'd be kind of pissed.
We did the biggest gate for an Italian SmackDown in history. 300,000 people came to see us paying €800 a piece. It was terrific.
Exactly.
Think of the positive.
Think of the positive.
I thought Triple H felt a little Trumpish right there.
Yeah, I've been blending it in. Like when I do my Trumps, it sounds like Trips.
He's blending things.
Canada putting tariffs.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So it was not good, John. Yeah. It was not good. And we know what they're doing. They're doing no house shows. So the WWE's never coming to your town. They're coming only to do TV. And when they do, it's going to be once every 2 or 3 years. And you're going to go crazy. In some of these markets, it'll be like once every 10, 15 years. And you're going to go really crazy. That's what they're doing. And they're charging crazy amounts for ticket prices. And it's just a different business model. It's not Vince's WWE anymore. It's a different thing altogether.
Well, if you noticed, I think you guys probably saw this, the entrances got better reactions than the actual wrestling. I mean, the wrestling got reactions, but I mean, it's all about when they come out and with the music.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we saw some comments here in the chat, they changed a bunch of songs. I had no idea who was coming out sometimes. Zelina Vega's got some very generic, crappy song. The Street Profits, too. What the heck was that? They're tag champs.
I didn't even notice they got a new song.
Exactly.
I guess it's gone.
Oh, I kind of recognized it, I think it's no longer CFO dollar signs.
Oh, maybe they changed
or the other
songs.
guy, Def Rebel. Yeah. Some of them got the can, I think.
Yeah.
No,
Jim
you're
Johnston.
You're right.
God damn it.
But the music, whatever. But it's all about the music now. It's all about the entrances and some promos.
And to be fair, I know you love Pretty Deadly, but in terms of reactions, they didn't get much tonight. I don't know, maybe because they're in Italy and maybe they don't like them so much in Italy, but maybe they'll get it better next week because they have the tag title shot next week. But this week, there wasn't a lot of love for Pretty Deadly.
Yeah, next week, though, they're in their home country, so they're going to get a lot of love. Home country challenging for the tag belts. People are going to love that.
I will say this. I think you have a great chance at WrestleMania because I don't think they're going to win next week. But you're going to get another shot at WrestleMania. And look at all their teams. They pretty much all won the titles already except the Garzas. So at them or the Garzas win the titles, I think Pretty Deadly has a decent shot at Mania, to be honest.
Yeah. I want to do a mock WrestleMania card because there are some matches.
It's just random.
Yes, boy!
Yes, boy. We go on and on, on and on. So I hope they win the tag belts next week. I think they got a shot. Even if they don't, I think there's going to be some sort of multi-team match at WrestleMania for the tag belts, and they'll be involved. They're in the mix. Them, DIY, Street Profits.
Motor
City Machines, possibly Los Garzas, but they may be the odd team out of that match. But maybe they do a 5-team match, 10-man ladder match for the tag team titles. That would be fun.
Sounds about right. Yeah,
right?
I like that.
I like that.
Who says no?
Who says no to that? Nobody. I don't know who that is doing that. I think he's the guy who sells Homer the Chavchalash.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's that guy.
No bull. Stick.
Crab juice. So that guy was a good guy. He was a good man. That was a good snack for Homer. So SmackDown tonight, John, I didn't think was very good. Overall, not great. The Roman Reigns thing at the end was what we were all here for. Roman Reigns comes to the ring, the tribal chief. Everybody loves it. They're pointing to the sky. Roman says Punk screwed him at the Rumble, so he screwed him at the Garden last week. And Seth attacked him at the Rumble, so he attacked him last week. And, well, he's going to be here for at least another 20 minutes, so if anyone wants to confront their tribal chief, they can come do it right now. So I guess Roman planned to just stand there until somebody showed up. I don't know. It was a weird comment, but whatever. Seth Rollins, of course, did show up because Roman knew somebody was going to show up because he's been on SmackDown before. He knows when you stand in the ring and the other guys have been advertised to appear and they haven't appeared yet, they're going to appear in your segment. So here comes Seth Rollins because it's all fake, right? It's all fake. Yeah. And it doesn't matter that it's obviously fake because we all know it's fake, and who cares, right?
Just once, I would have liked to happen where, like, you know, you think CM Punk is going to come out and the camera just cuts to him in Chicago, be like, "Oh, I didn't make the flight. I'm not. Oh, I didn't. I'm not in Italy.
Yeah, I'm not there. Yeah, like we know.
I'll talk to you next week.
We know Punk is there, and we know he's going to show up at some point to do a promo with Roman, right? So Seth Rollins shows up first. And he's like, look, you should have let me finish Punk in the cage last week, but forget him. It's not about him. It's never been about him. It's been about you and me, Roman. The whole thing, it's always been about us. And that is a nice statement there from Seth, and it is true to a point that the WWE for the past
12?
No, not 12 years, but maybe 10 years has been about them. Has it been 10 years, maybe?
I mean, you could make an argument for 12.
I mean, the Shield, if we're going back to the Shield.
Yeah, but when the Shield first came in, like, they weren't the main attraction in WWE. When did Seth turn on Roman?
It was 2014.
Yeah.
That's when the whole company became about them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair to say. But I can understand the Shield thing, because the Shield made a big deal out of it.
And I think when we saw the Money in the Bank that year, the year Cena won, I think Roman was in that, and it was kind of a big deal. It was like Roman's first challenge for the title.
And that was 2014?
It was 2014.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when Seth turned on Roman, they ceased being a group and became individual stars that were going to take over the company. And they did. Seth and Roman took over the WWE, and Moxley, Dean Ambrose did to a certain extent as well. But I think it became clear to him at a certain point that it was more about Roman and Seth than it was about him, and he just wasn't happy with that, and that's why he's not there anymore. But I liked Seth saying, like, it's not about Punk, it's you and me here. It's us, and it's true. It is them. The whole show has revolved around those two guys for the past 10 years. At least 10 years. And Punk is just there. You know? Punk is just there because he doesn't have anything else to do at WrestleMania.
I think it's just an awkward match, period. I mean, when you look at where Roman Reigns was last year to now, it's a huge step down, and that's kind of sad to say when it's Roman versus Seth and Punk. But, I mean, compared to where he was, it feels like this is nowhere near where he should be. Like, people are saying, oh, this might be a main event of one of the nights of WrestleMania. To me, it's just another match on the card, to be honest. It's not that big because it's just three guys that have an issue and beef, but nothing really important besides that.
Yep. It makes more sense to just do Roman Seth one-on-one, but they're not doing that. They're throwing Punk into it. Punk did show up. You know, he hears it's not about him, and of course his ears perk up, and he goes, wait a second, it is about me, and here comes CM Punk. And he's like, hey, Roman, you wouldn't even be here if I didn't save you and your family at War Games, and Heyman, you owe me a favor. And thanks, by the way, for delivering your tribal chief to me on a silver platter. And Roman is like, what does that mean? And he turns to Heyman, and in that moment, Punk attacks Roman with the microphone and starts beating up on Roman. And then Seth decides to attack Punk, and then Roman pushes Seth away, and Seth pushes Roman, and then everybody starts fighting each other, and they're brawling all over the place. And at a certain point, Roman and Seth are fighting each other in the ring, and CM Punk is like by himself, separated by security. You know, obviously wrestler guys. There was one guy with like a platinum blonde ponytail. I was like, you're a wrestler from Italy. You're not security. Anyways, so Seth and Roman are in the ring fighting each other, and Punk points at the WrestleMania sign, right? And Heyman's like, oh no, right?
It's a good Heyman face.
It's ridiculous. Oh, it's like, okay, why? This is wrestling. You know matches are going to happen, right, dude? You've been doing this for like 100 years. And then Seth sees this, and then he goes and he dives on Punk, and Punk falls down. And then Seth is beating up on Punk and Roman, and they're both down. And then Seth takes an opportunity, and he points at the sign, right? And then Roman, he starts doing stuff, and he gets the steel stairs, and he hits Punk, and he hits Seth, and they're down, and then he points at the sign.
It's official.
And then, you know, Seth gets up, and Roman and Seth punch each other, and SmackDown ends. And it's like, oh, they all pointed at the sign, so you know what that means. It's just so cheesy and
scripted.
It's just, yeah, it's so overly scripted that you go, this would never happen for real. I mean, Roman and Seth didn't even see Punk really pointing at the sign. How would Seth know to then point at the sign? Why are they doing this? Yeah. Why do they all have to point at the sign?
Doesn't count unless
to be
you point
like,
at the sign.
Match, we must wrestle at Mania. Sign. It's just, it was, you know, one of those things where it's like, okay, you're gonna brawl, and then you point at the sign, and then you point at the sign, and then Roman points at the sign at the end, okay, to make it official. It's just like, you could see it, and it's just so obvious and so
and Michael
lame.
Cole the whole time's like, oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
He wants to fight them at WrestleMania. Can you believe this?
Yeah, when Michael Cole, when Punk points at the sign, you're like, okay. And then Seth points at the sign, you're like, okay, I guess they're all going to point at the sign. And then Roman, of course, gets stairs and knocks them both down. And it's like, oh, I wonder what he's about to do. And then he points at the stupid sign, and you go, oh, jeez, what is this show? Like, it's like a dumb match. It's just poorly designed. It's clunky in the build, and setting it up this way was just weak and overly scripted and just dumb. It's everything that WWE does wrong about wrestling. It was just so typical WWE stupid. I hated it. It's just like, you have to point at the sign? Really, dude?
It's a terrible tradition. I feel like it's been something since like around Mania 30 or a bit before. And then ever since then, like, just everybody's like, hey, I want a match.
But to do it in the midst of this, like, knockdown, drag-out brawl, supposedly, it was just so over the top. It was ridiculous. John, did you love it?
Well, I agree with you. It's a tired act, the whole point at the whole WrestleMania thing. It was all right. I think first couple of years they did it. But I mean, how many years has it been now? Like close to 20 now years they've been doing this. Like,
Really?
it's been a long time.
Wow.
Oh, if it's not 20, it's close.
Of the pointing at the sign, yeah.
It's close, yeah. I'd say so.
Yeah, it's been a while. I didn't mind when your son did it. That was cool. Like a couple years ago in the Chamber, I thought that was a neat moment. But it's different when fans do it, and people and all that. But wrestlers doing it, it's just that sets up the whole match. Is because you point at the sign. Like Rumble makes sense. I think they should just be saved for that, to be honest, at this point. And by the way, it was Tessitore, not Cole tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Cole did that stupid thing on Raw about Cena. Like, he did that.
He was all mad at
I
Cena.
called him a prick.
Yeah.
You prick.
Oh, my God. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's all been ridiculous. The whole build for Mania has been kind of...
I want your soul.
I don't know.
I liked one of the questions we had there. Is there any match you're honestly looking forward to at WrestleMania? I think besides the main event, I can't say much matches I'm really excited for.
What's the main event? Cena, Cody?
I'm interested to see how that's going to go down. I'm not saying it's going to be the greatest match in the world. I just want to see the outcome, how that works to that match.
I want to see Bianca and Rhea and Io. And I want to see Charlotte and Tiffy.
Yeah, those are two matches you'd think. I mean, again, I thought Tiffany, she got kind of schooled by Charlotte tonight. She looks a little uncomfortable. I don't think she's ever been in that kind of situation, that kind of promo. So she kind of got put in her place a little bit. But that's not a bad thing because that's kind of the way it should work out. The vet outschooled her. So,
yeah.
And we'll see if that happens in the match. I think it might happen, actually. I think Charlotte might just go over Tiffany.
Was that the way it was scripted? It felt like Tiffany was told stick to the script, and Charlotte could kind of do whatever she wanted in that promo. It felt, I don't know, like Tiffany found herself using the same lines a few times about Charlotte, you just take whatever's hot and throw water on it, and Charlotte was kind of even calling her out on that, saying you can't do anything original, and I don't know, it felt like a burial, for some reason. The Office is just kind of starting to lose faith in Tiffany Stratton or something, or they don't like her as a babyface.
I think it was just Charlotte taking advantage.
She went to business for herself?
Maybe not maybe in the planning of it, she made sure that she was protected. And she got her lines in, and Tiffany didn't have lines to get in.
Yeah.
It just felt like Charlotte came with more ammo. And Tiffy was just kind of outgunned.
Yeah.
I think Ben brings up a great point, though, too. I think maybe Charlotte has a bit of leeway being a vet. Sometimes, when they say stick to the script, with vets, they kind of let them be a little bit more creative with it. And with Tiffany, it's more stick straight to it. And that's what it kind of felt like, where Charlotte at some points went off a bit and Tiffany got lost a little and felt uncomfortable, and it showed. And Charlotte kind of exposed her a bit.
Looking forward to that match, though. I think it'll be interesting. I think the match will be good. I love seeing Charlotte Flair in a big match. WrestleMania, she always delivers. And this is a huge, huge opportunity for Tiffy. This is the biggest match of her career. I want to see how she responds to it. And I wonder what the WWE is going to do as far as who wins. I'm interested in, are they going to go with putting Tiffy over a huge star like Charlotte, or are they going to give Charlotte another title run, which I think either way it works. And I'm curious to know, what they choose. So I like that match a lot. I'm interested in that. I'm interested in Bianca and Rhea and Io. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. They had a contract signing for Bianca and Io this week because Bianca won the Rumble, but Rhea was the champion at the time, and then Rhea got distracted by Bianca, and Io won the title, so now Rhea wants revenge, and Rhea doesn't have a spot at WrestleMania. So then Rhea took the contract and she signed it, and Adam Pearce is like, well, that's not how matches work. But I think it might be.
That's what Shawn Michaels did.
It?
When he wasn't in, it was supposed to be Triple H versus Chris Benoit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then Shawn Michaels super kicked Benoit and then signed his name on the contract. They're like, oh, I guess Michaels is in the match. His name's on the contract.
Not
She's
quite.
HBK.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a little thing that they have to do, which was important in the whole Shawn Michaels Benoit thing, is that Michaels had to beat Benoit to get into the match. So that's what they got to do with this too. Rhea's got to beat Bianca to get into the match, I think.
Whoa.
I know it's whoa, but that's the only way for it to make sense, really.
Well, they could have that with some sort of, EO interference mishap type thing.
It helped that Shawn beat Benoit pretty much clean. That helped kind of solidify his spot where it's like, okay, he deserves to be in the match. So
Yeah.
interference kind of makes it a little mucky a bit. Like
I
everything.
think they're going to do it, though. They don't have clean
Let's see if they
finishes
do the
anymore.
match. Sadly, they need clean finishes. Like, there's way too many dirty finishes. Way too many.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. WWE, they just can't, for the life of them, do a clean finish. But, it's what they do. What do you think that match is going to be? I think a triple threat, right? Io, Rhea, Bianca at WrestleMania?
As long as we get that way with Rhea actually gaining a position, because Bianca kind of tweeted a great point. Like, Bianca gained her opportunity. She won the chamber. She earned her spot. Rhea's done nothing to earn her spot. So she shouldn't be thrown into the match. She has to earn it in some capacity. By being Bianca, that should give her the spot, I think. Being a three-way, I think.
Makes sense. You're not wrong. We'll see what they do. I do want to get to John Cena's promo as well. He finally spoke. He came out in just John Cena gear with the John Cena music, but he had a mean face on him. He was all mean. He was all mad. Mad at the people. Says the fans have done nothing for him, and he's done everything for them, and they've been mean. They've been awful to him. Awful. You've been awful to me.
His voice does kind of go like high.
Yeah. And it was just like, okay. And some people liked it, I think, because it was just a different look of John Cena than we're used to. But it just seemed like aggressive John Cena turned at the fans. Just kind of, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me that he did it. He turned on Cody because he hates the fans. Because the fans used to boo him when he was supposed to be a babyface? Even though that kind of stopped a good 7-8 years ago when pretty much everybody decided, John Cena's all right, I guess. And they mostly got cheered. It wasn't like, hate for Cena like it was early on. Over time, the fans, even me,
came around.
softened. Yeah, everybody kind of likes John Cena now. It's fine.
We started doing like Hurricane Ranas and Canadian Destroyers.
Yeah, so for him to kind of cut this promo now, you go, well, it's not really like that anymore, is it, John? Like, what are you talking about? I didn't like the angle that they took with the John Cena heel promo. It just didn't ring true. And it didn't make a lot of sense where he's like, well, I did it. I hate you fans. And that's why I'm a heel now. And I did that to Cody. Why? Did you get it?
Well, when it happened, I posted on X that it was just lazy writing. That's the first initial thought I felt. And the way I look at it now, I'm like, I feel years from now, maybe like 5 years from now, we'll look back and say, like, this was like very poorly done. Like, this feels like it's almost like a joke. Like, oh, well, Cena, he didn't get to a heel turn. Let's turn him heel. This would be something. Like, even the fans weren't even really like, there was still a let's go Cena, Cena sucks chant. Like, they were kind of in on the joke, it felt like, with the whole, like, and them booing even. It felt like they're just going along with the gag. Like, I actually thought it was kind of pathetic, to be honest. I was very disappointed. Now, of course, I've never liked John Cena for a long time, so I'll be fair on that. Like, I was happy that people are booing him, and I think he deserves a lot of those boos. But I also feel that this wasn't done very well and could have been better. I think we've seen better heel turns. The fact that he didn't mention The Rock at all, I think, is a major gap in this story.
Yeah.
Like, he's a huge part, and you don't even mention him. That's terrible.
The
Horrible
selling the
stuff.
soul, all that stuff, out the window. It's all about how awful the fans were to me. Like,
and the cheap, just the cheap idea of that, I'm not going to get rid of the shirt and everything, all the merchandise, all right, that's being sold, and like we're selling, like it's already been made and all that. I'm not going to get rid of that because that's me. I'm not going to change myself for you people. When we all know why he's not doing it, it's because, like, they're making money off that stuff. They've already made it. They're not going to change it.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It didn't make a lot of sense. I wanted to see John Cena tell Cody that, he joined up with The Rock because he and The Rock understand the vision of the future for the WWE. The WWE's on Netflix now. The WWE is changing. The WWE is Hollywood. And Cody Rhodes and his father, Dusty Rhodes, and that old wrestling mentality ain't gonna cut it anymore in this new world. It's sports entertainment, Cody, and me and The Rock know about entertainment. We're movie stars, and if you want to get to the next level, you got to be like us, and one day maybe you can be a movie star, and you could be better than just a wrestler. And that is what John Cena should have said to Cody Rhodes, but instead he did this, you fans, and and then Cody has to come out and be like, hey, John, don't say that about the fans. That's our audience.
These are the people that watch Tech War.
Exactly. Like, it's just ridiculous.
What are you doing, man?
Thank you.
This is our audience.
Yeah, it's a deep cut. I don't know if
there's
one
a
time.
writer
Sorry,
position
John. It's
open.
just one time. William Shatner was promoting some sort of show called Tech Wars on WWF TV,
based off a book
I
he
remember.
wrote.
and Jerry Lawler was cutting a promo, and he was saying bad things about the fans. And William Shatner came in and said, "What are you doing, man? This is our audience. These are the people that watch Tech Wars." And it was like, dude, nobody's watching Tech Wars. But it's just when
On USA.
But that's the promo that you have to go and cut, where you go, Cody has to come out and be like, hey, John Cena, what are you doing, man? This is our audience. These are the people that watch Tech Wars. These are our people. Don't say that. We love the people.
Let's hear it for Bologna, Italy.
Let me take it up for your local sports team. It's
Soccer.
just, the mean things John Cena said to you are wrong. I am here to fight for you. I am your guy. It's just so typical, so lame, and like you said, so lazy. John Cena turns heel. Okay, what makes him evil? He hates the people because they used to boo him. Oh, okay, that'll work. Like, it's not the promo for the moment. But if they did what I said, which is, hey, Cody, you're a wrestler, you're like traditional wrestler, and WWE's got to be more Hollywood and more, actor, more movie and less wrestling, which is what it's turning into with this corporate overlord that they have with Ari Emanuel and the whole goddamn TKO group. And if they did that promo, though, it makes the Hollywood guys and the Netflix and all of that the bad guys, which they don't want.
No.
They want to be
wanna
seen
pop.
as the good guys. It's cool that...
Hey, everybody, Ted Sarandos is here.
Hey, guys, we're doing a roast of WrestleMania with Tony Hinchcliffe, who just happens to have just signed a big Netflix deal. Like, they want all of that. So they don't want to make that the bad guy, even though the more you watch WWE, the more I think regular wrestling fans are starting to think, hey, those are the bad guys. We don't like them. Logan Paul, Andrew Schultz, Tony Hinchcliffe, Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan, The Rock, John Cena, they're the bad guys. We don't like them. We like Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn and Rey Mysterio and Gunther and the Usos because they're wrestlers.
Randy Orton.
Even Randy Orton.
You know, he tried to be an actor, didn't quite
Because
work.
he's a wrestler. And we like them because they're in it for professional wrestling, not for the other thing that's happening now. But they're not going to do that.
I feel people might debate you on the Usos thing after Jey Uso's performance this week about the wrestling.
Well, I mean, he's trying. It's not his fault. He's not great all the time. He flopped dollared. He pulled a top dollar. He went head first.
But not only that, like, that wasn't even a spear. Like, he beat him with a cross body. Like, what the heck was that? Like, you're finished. You couldn't even hit the finish right. You have 30 seconds, and you can't hit the right move.
But it's fun to say yeet. Yeet. I agree. He's not great on the mic or in the ring, but like you mentioned earlier, it's all about the entrance pop. And he has a fun song and a hand gesture, and people like to say yeet.
I mean, that's a big part of the entrance checklist. You know,
Ultimate Warrior. He's like
Daniel Bryan, He's
the ultimate yeet warrior.
People like to do stuff with their hands.
I mean, he can't really cut a promo. He can't really wrestle, but man, the entrance, brother.
I really don't feel Bryan Danielson, Jey Uso. That's a
I'm saying the hand thing. Like, he comes out, people throw their hands up in the air. It's a key to a good entrance. If that wasn't part of Daniel Bryan's thing, like, who knows if he would have hit those heights.
That's
true. If he didn't have the
it helps.
Fingers.
It helps. But
big.
The great part about him is that he could cut a promo, and then when the match started, it was unbelievable. Jey Uso,
Well, another thing, too, and I'll give Bryan a lot of credit here, he was already a champion going into WrestleMania without that.
Yeah.
He didn't win that one, but still he was the champion going into WrestleMania and didn't have that whole movement behind him.
But back to John Cena and the whole thing. Like, they should have gone with the Hollywood angle, but they're not doing it.
Because he's more Hollywood than he's ever been, John Cena.
Yeah, him and The Rock together, it's like, oh, they put the two actor guys together. But they didn't do that.
I'm kind of worried that we're going to get where Cena's just going to be a heel for a little bit, and then he's just going to switch right back. And it's one of those things like, oh, remember that time when I turned heel? Well, yep. Like, that's going to happen with Cena. You know it's going to happen.
The people will win him back.
Yeah. It does feel like it's temporary.
Just for the moment. And that's fine. I get it with the match with Cody, but I think it's also kind of ridiculous because I think a lot of people, regardless of the heel turn, still want Cena to hit that record. So all the work they've done here, I think it's all for naught because there's still a lot of people going to be cheering for Cena at Mania, I think.
Yeah, I could see Cena turning right back to being like, oh, I was wrong. The people do love me. I'm sorry. And I'm so glad they took me back. And it's all fine again. In a week, it's forgotten. It's too bad. I thought they had something. People got excited about that Cena turn, but I was skeptical. And now I'm more skeptical.
Well, they could right the ship on Raw, right? Because they have another confrontation, so maybe they can fix it and just erase what happened, I guess. They like to do that sometimes.
We'll see. Hopefully they can. They're in Glasgow, Scotland, Monday. And Drew McIntyre's on SmackDown. I mean, you figure he's going to be on Raw, too, for some reason, right?
Well, a lot of guys, again, it doesn't matter if you're on Raw or SmackDown. I mean, Punk and Seth from Raw were on SmackDown today. So
that's true.
Just do whatever you want, really, when you're on in Europe, I guess. Like, It doesn't matter.
All right, there's a lot of WrestleMania talk here on the show. Let's talk about matches that are official for WrestleMania, and then maybe what else may happen. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, official for WrestleMania tonight. Of course, we will have John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. We will have Tiffy Time versus Charlotte Flair. We will have Gunther versus Jey Uso for the world title. These matches are all official. Bianca Belair and Io Sky is technically the match for WrestleMania, but we all expect Rhea Ripley to be inserted into that for the women's title, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre seem to be doing something. I figure they're going to wrestle at Mania.
Didn't Drew say like he's going to kill him or something at Mania? Like when they were like punching each other? Like
maybe, but they haven't made anything official. I mean, I think that's where they're headed, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
didn't point the sign though.
There was no sign point.
Yeah.
But maybe they were told not to point at the sign because they had a whole big sign pointing ceremony at the end of the show.
Maybe.
Probably. No one else pointed at the sign.
I'd say 90% sure it's going to happen at Mania, that match, I think.
How about AJ Styles and Logan Paul? Is that happening?
I mean, yeah, I think so, because what else for AJ at this point?
Nothing.
So, yeah.
Jade and Naomi, I think, probably at Mania.
Well, it came alive again because Jade, which this was the one thing that was kind of puzzling. She hasn't been pinned at all. So let's pin her on just a random SmackDown.
Was that the first time she was pinned?
Hey,
tonight?
Dave and Johnny.
Really?
Yeah.
In a single
If I am being
I
honest,
feel like she lost the tag
I was the
match.
first one in the entire world
Why do you
to
have to say that name?
Logan Paul
Dave?
is something special. Mark my
geez.
words.
You know, I feel like she took a fall in a tag match, Jade.
Well, in singles competition.
But in singles competition,
Okay.
yeah, maybe.
Well, she got cheated out of it with Naomi, who was wearing a tribute to Owen Hart wrestling gear.
That's what I thought.
Right?
With the caution tape, yeah.
With the caution tape gear. Looked like Owen Hart.
She might start saying enough is enough. It's time for a change.
Yeah. Somebody better call her a nugget.
Maybe not.
I am not a nugget. Shout out to Angelo Contagonis and Leor in the chat, Patrick Deneau as well, members over at donate.ringsidereport.net and join.ringsidereport.net. Thanks to the guys for supporting the channel. I see you. Leor says the brawl at the main event was funny. Not as hilarious as Naomi's punches, though. I thought Naomi... And Leor thought Naomi's gear looked great. I thought it was very Owen Hartish. Are the Canadians playing? People were talking about the Canadians in the chat, John. Are they playing right now?
They play tomorrow against Colorado, but they are in a playoff spot right now. I remember the last time we talked about this, they had a 6% chance. They boosted up to, like, I think a 45% chance. So chances are better.
Wow. So they have a playoff spot?
Yeah, they're currently like in like the last seed.
Okay.
But it's like a 6-way race or something. Like there's like a ton of teams trying.
And there's like a team playing now that has
They're
influence on...
Yeah, like if...
is the season almost over or
Ottawa... There's like
I think there's 14 games left. I'm going to 3 more games, so it's going to be fun.
All right.
You're going to 3 more games. Jeez.
Johnny's like constantly at the arena watching the Canadians
Do you have season
play.
tickets?
I wish. Only going to 12 games so far this season.
You paid for each one?
I got 2 freebies. No, 3 freebies, actually. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. You still have good seats?
For the freebies, they're fantastic because those are like a company kind of seats. So, yeah, those are fantastic.
Then you go to like nosebleeds for the...
But even nosebleeds, like when it's packed
I mean, at the Bell Center, yeah, I've been in the nosebleeds at the Bell Center. Like, people are like, you know, high-fiving, going crazy, you know. It's an atmosphere.
I was hugging a stranger. Like, it was a great night against Ottawa.
Oh, you were at the
Dave's,
Ottawa
like,
game?
Surprised. Oh, yes.
Oh, that game was nuts, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Dave's all surprised, right?
Johnny's hugging strangers at hockey games,
It was like
John.
at baseball, you know, like, you know, we would high-five people. You know, I remember there was like that time in 2003 where the Expos had a wild card spot in like September.
I can't remember.
We swept the Phillies at home, and like people were like honking in the parking lot and like going crazy.
Yeah, maybe, but
it was a brief moment, but it was there.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of like celebratory moments as an Expo fan, so I can't really relate to hugging strangers because of sports.
And being close to the playoffs.
It's not happened to me, John.
They're usually like in fourth place by September.
I don't have that. I don't have that experience where I'm hugging people I don't know because a team is winning. Because my team didn't win, and then they went away forever. So, and when I watch the Yankees, it's usually late at night when my family's sleeping, and I just yeah.
July 1st, though.
Huh? What?
It could happen at the Rogers Center. You're going July 1st, so.
Yeah, well, I won't hug strangers. I'll hug my the people that I'm with. Yeah, this guy and my son, when we see Aaron Judge hit a towering blast, hopefully. Okay, enough about other sports. Let's get to WrestleMania. So, Jade Naomi solo versus Jacob Fatu, I'm thinking, as well.
That's feeling likely.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, but does that make Mania, or do you just put that in like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal?
I think it makes Mania. I mean, right now we only have like 9 matches.
2 nights.
Yes, but like let's also remember, like they don't like to have a lot of matches for their PLE. We've had like 4 or 5 matches a show,
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised we only get 6, 7 matches a night, if that.
What about Braun Breaker defending against Pentagon, possibly, at WrestleMania?
I feel that should be a multi-man, no? Like, I would put, Finn involved with that.
Yeah.
Maybe even put, like, Ray and Chad Gable involved in that. Like, I feel like that should be more than just Penta. Like, not that Penta's bad. Like, that's fine, but I feel it needs more than just that, I think.
Yeah. I could see that. Multi-man match. And some sort of thing with the tag titles, like the SmackDown tag titles, with
5-way ladder match.
Pretty Deadly, Street Profits. Maybe do a ladder match with a bunch of teams.
DIYs,
the Motor Cities, and the Garzas.
Yep.
Do all that. Who are the Raw Tag Team Champions right now?
War Raiders.
Still? Oh, they're not making Mania.
Well, not everyone has to make Mania. Again, there's a SmackDown and then there's a Raw right after, right? So
War Raiders are doing nothing with those tag belts. They got no opponents. They got no
American
tag teams to
Made?
wrestle. Who?
Yeah, American Made and Judgment Day, pretty much.
That's pretty weak. SmackDown tag division's way better.
It's still not saying much, but sure, I guess.
They have a division.
Better than Raw.
more
I'll give them
clear-cut.
that, yes.
Yeah. I mean, LA Knight, will he wrestle at Mania? Defend his title?
Against Big Jim, defend the U.S. tag titles, yeah.
Maybe. Big Jim, LA Knight. Does Sami Zayn get a match at WrestleMania? Where's he been since the Rumble? Or since Chamber, right?
He's been gone since Chamber. Like, that's a big question. I'd love to see him actually win Andre the Giant. He might pick if he's in it.
If he's in it. I think that'd be good. But that's like, Mania. Liv and Raquel, do they defend their belts at Mania? I don't know.
I think they will. But that's the thing. Who against who? And I could see Chelsea. I think Chelsea defends. I don't know about Lyra Valkyria. I don't think she'll defend, actually.
I feel like Chelsea will defend on the SmackDown before.
Yeah, I don't... Like, Chelsea has nobody to wrestle.
Michin again?
Yeah, come on.
Well, yeah, there's Michin and... no, you're laughing, but Zelina Vega, they're kind of like... She lost, right? But they're kind of...
She did get a video package. Yeah.
But she lost to Piper Niven.
Yeah.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle to the match.
You can't be struggling. You got to be winning on your way to the title. Come on, man.
She was not prepared for Pete Bear.
Yeah. Not prepared for Piper Niven. Yeah, that's kind of where I think WrestleMania is headed. Some of those matches official, but a lot of them just kind of up in the air right now, and I think it's up in the air for the WWE as well. Up in the club.
I think they want Damage Control, and if Asuka could come back, I think they'd like her to be in that tag match, I think, against Liv and Raquel.
That would be nice. Asuka and Kyrie.
Oh, what Dakota? It could whatever combination, like could be Dakota and Oscar, but I think they want her to come back. I think that would get people interested in that kind of match. I think
Asuka and Kyrie together again would be cool. The Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, they have a history too. That makes sense. But isn't Kyrie hurt too though? Like
Yeah. I think so. I don't know how bad, but I did hear she had something, right?
So I think that's kind of holding up a lot of matches right now. It looks like there's potential for a lot of things that could happen, but not everything is like set in stone. It looks like.
Mm-hmm. LA Knight will wrestle Braun Strowman for the U.S. title next week on SmackDown, and Pretty Deadly will challenge for the tag team titles against the Street Profits, which will be fun. Oh, and CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. That's also happening at WrestleMania. Yeah. We can't forget that. That's also a match, triple threat.
They pointed.
They all pointed. It's happening. That's basically official, which it has been for a little while now. Since the Rumble, we kind of knew, right?
Since the elimination, you pretty much knew. And it'll be a good match, but I'm not like dying to see that match. I feel like it's kind of a waste almost to have that at WrestleMania. It's okay to have it at PLE, but WrestleMania, it's like that's the best you could do.
Yeah, it's like both of the matches that seem to be big triple threats going into Mania, I feel would be better as singles matches. Like I think if Bianca wrestled Ripley, or if Seth wrestled Roman just one-on-one, they'd be better off because that's really where the feud is. EO is just kind of there because they want to give her a spot for Mania and they got nothing else for her. And it's the same with Punk. Like, Punk doesn't really have anything else, so they're just going to throw him into that. And really it's about Seth and Roman, and really it's about Rhea and Bianca. And I think most people would be more interested in Rhea versus Bianca than Rhea, Bianca, Io. And I think the same for Seth versus Roman over Seth, Roman with Punk. It's like featuring Punk and featuring Io and less of a triple threat. You know, it's like, yeah, it's these two and then this other one. And it's just, they're just doing that because it's Mania and they need to fit everybody on the show for some reason. I think it would be hilarious if Punk wasn't on the show.
Off. Oh, my God.
That'd be great.
Oh, my God.
That'd be great.
Actually, there's no room for you this year.
Sorry. Imagine. Sorry, creative's got nothing for you.
Sorry, Phil.
That'd be great.
You can't wrestle me this time.
Yeah. Wrestle Dom Mysterio.
See, I'm expecting Dom to do something where like he wants a WrestleMania match, and like he's gonna come out at WrestleMania and say like I want a match. Someone come out and face me, and I could see someone like Goldberg come out because they're gonna have the Goldberg like retirement. I know you guys hate this, but it's gonna happen. Goldberg's gonna have his retirement match this year.
Dominic Mysterio,
and I think that could help start the whole Goldberg retirement or they're gonna have this year.
Oh God! Don't have him go to Calgary.
When are they going back to Canada, WWE? That's a great question.
Well, they'll go back to Toronto.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. They'll go back to Canada. They have to. They love it. They like the money that we spend on their stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
Cheap products.
How about AEW, John? I watched AEW Dynamite this week. It was interesting. It was an interesting show. They did a lot of different things.
Did you watch Collision?
What?
Did you watch Collision that helped lead into Dynamite? Because we started off with that four-way, and you had to watch Collision to understand what the four-way was, right? Because we talked about this last week. Who was going to be in the four-way?
Yeah, I think I watched Collision. I don't think I watched all of Collision, but I think they kind of started Collision with like the important matches, didn't they?
I think they started with Ricochet and Shibata, no?
Yeah. Yeah, I watched that. That I saw. It was pretty good. I like Rick O'Shea. He's been great. And then, was that the only match that they did? Did they do the Mark Davis match on Collision too?
They did the Mark Davis match too.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that too. Yeah.
I was kind of surprised by that. I thought Briscoe would advance, but he did not.
Yeah. But I liked Mark Davis in the four-way. I thought he was good as like the big man in the match.
I thought that was really important, that four-way, because you had four kind of different styles, and yeah, he kind of stood out. So that kind of helped a lot. Well, to be fair, I think Speedball and Ricochet are very similar, but I guess in terms you had a face heel in that sense.
Yeah.
And that's it. Davis also being a heel, I think it was better because you had Orange Cassidy as well. I think it was a good contrast, without question. I thought the match a little long, but still, like, for an opener, I thought it was fine.
I thought it was a fun match. I thought Mike Bailey looked great. I did not like the way they started it, where they were all kind of teasing the 4-way like test of strength thing with the hands. Like, it was so hokey. Like, what are we doing? Very indie, very low rent, dumb. Don't do that. But I thought the match was fun. Mike Bailey got caught. Like, there are two guys in the ring. I forget who, Orange and Rico, I think. And Bailey was like outside the. I'm not gonna hit you, or am I? He was like outside the ring. Did you see that at one point? He was on the hard cam, and he was just kind of watching the match outside the ring, like waiting for his spot. And then he kind of moved when somebody told him or realized. But he's new to, big time TV wrestling, so that'll come with time. But it was just like, why is Mike Bailey just sitting there watching the match outside the ring? Isn't he in the match? Shouldn't he be like attacking one of these guys? And it was like, oh, he's just doing the fake selling thing, and he'll come in when it's his spot. And that's, 4-way match wrestling, and it happens, but you just don't want to be caught on camera just kind of watching the match, It looked kind of funny. But he was amazing. He did this moonsault from inside the ring to outside the ring. That was crazy. Unbelievable.
He did that. He did his moonsault, like, knee drop as well.
Yeah. He's very good. You've wrestled him, right?
And funny enough, I wrestled him, like, in a 6-way. And
Oh,
I
yeah?
was going to just bring this up. Like, we were on the outside, and I was like, well, just brawl with some guys. Like, do something while guys are in the ring, whatever. And he started kicking me and, like, beat me down, being like, stay down. Like, it's not on DVD, so don't do anything. Just stay down. Nothing. So,
he wanted you to do nothing.
So, different kind of sets up, but that's different. Like, I kind of get that too, because there is no camera with that. So just lay low and just, give the people in the ring the shine. It's a different scenario with that TV, a little bit different.
Yeah. Anyways, but the finish was interesting, where Mike Bailey rolled up Mark Davis, and then Rick O'Shea jumped on top of him and put his feet on the ropes and helped, and he pinned Davis at the same time. So Bailey and Ricochet were both pinning Davis. So the referee declared that Ricochet and Speedball Bailey had both won, and they go on to face Kenny Omega at the pay-per-view. I thought that was cool. It was a fun finish.
I thought it was funny because I had Ricochet, you had Bailey winning, and we were both right in the end.
That's true.
So that's kind of neat how that worked out. And I think that's a very good match to have. I think Patrick Arnaud just said it. Like, that should be very solid. When you look at Dynasty, that's probably the match you're looking at to watch, I think, April 6th.
That's going to be incredible. Kenny Omega, Ricochet, and Speedball Mike Bailey. What?
Explosive.
It's not the main event, but to me that might be the match of the night.
It's going to be unbelievable. So that's, it's going to be hard to top, You'll see that triple threat, Kenny, Ricochet, Speedball, and then like a week or two later, you'll see Punk, Roman, Seth, two very different triple threats. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, Kenny's match will be better. 100%.
But more people will watch the WrestleMania match, though.
Correct. Correct. So, and they'll make more money doing it and all of that. Definitely. Nevertheless,
Seth will say that he's a better wrestler. So
yeah, well, Seth will say whatever he needs to say to sleep at night. Angelo Contagones, thank you for gifting the membership. Welcome Mike Putnam to the crew over at join.ringsidereport.net. Thank you, Angelo. AEW Dynasty coming up. It's the next big pay-per-view in pro wrestling. Philadelphia, April 6th. WrestleMania, April 19th and 20th. And we'll be doing post-shows after each night of WrestleMania.
My goodness.
On the Saturday and the Sunday, because it's Easter weekend, so, we got nothing going on Monday morning. We can
got
stay.
Hall
We can
of
stay
Fame
up
on
late on
Netflix.
Sunday. Hall of Fame on Netflix?
Don't we?
Probably.
Shouldn't we? On the Friday?
Yeah, on the Friday. I
After
think.
SmackDown?
Something like that, brother.
During our show, probably, because SmackDown will just end, and then the Hall of Fame starts after SmackDown.
Yeah. That's all right. Elsewhere on Dynamite, John, of course, the Jon Moxley Edge match. World title match in the middle of the show. Mid-card.
I actually like it. Like I thought that was positioned very well, because it's like I didn't know what was really going to happen there. I'm like, middle of the show like that, like it seems like there's going to be a lot of shenanigans, and there definitely was a lot of shenanigans in this match. So I thought it, spacey-wise, was good. And like in the main event, when it kind of goes like it's the last thing, it feels like it kind of drags a little bit. This didn't feel like it dragged at all. It was like kind of on the edge of my seat. Obviously for different reasons. It wasn't so much for who's going to win. It's more like, is Moxley okay? Because my goodness, that was insane.
Yep, he took a suplex on a spiked bat full of nails. The nails went in him.
No gimmick?
No. It was all real. Real nails. Crimea River.
Crimea River.
And that's how I feel about it. Real nails, real glass, real blood, real guts. Crimea River. If you don't like it, change the channel. Wait till the next match. It won't be the same. It'll be good. It'll be something different. It'll be pro wrestling to the fullest extent of the law. And that's what AEW gives you. Pro wrestling in your face, real action in the ring. And more, the WWE is not giving you that. And AEW is giving you what you're looking for if you're looking for pro wrestling. And at this stage in the game, John, we've seen a lot of violence in pro wrestling. We've seen a lot of gore. And maybe we haven't seen it like this on TV wrestling, but we've seen things on YouTube and, you know what I mean, indie matches that have taken place throughout the years that were far bloodier and gorier and more disgusting than when Jon Moxley did on Dynamite. Don't pretend like this was the most shocking thing you've ever seen in pro wrestling. He's just bringing that indie CCW deathmatch style wrestling to TV wrestling, and people that haven't seen it before go, oh my goodness, what the hell is this? But if you've actually watched wrestling, indie wrestling, the whole thing, every kind of wrestling from Mexico to Japan and everywhere in between, you know that violent stuff happens, gory things happen, and this was an example of that. It was bad, but it was far from the worst thing I've ever seen in pro wrestling. So, you know, I thought it was cool. It was a cool spot. Moxley's okay for the most part. This is the kind of thing he lives to do. Let him do it. He wanted to do it. He had no Vince McMahon going, do this, pal. I watch it. No, this was Moxley's idea. And Edge was like, all right, cool, let's do it. And I don't even think Tony Khan was told about it. They just go and do things in AEW. And, like, if Moxley wants to take a bump on some nails, let him do it. And if it goes wrong, they got medical staff on hand. They got the money to take care of them. They'll be fine. Let him do it. I got no I just am surprised that TBS is like, yeah, sure, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I'm surprised by. Like, pay-per-view, whatever, do whatever. But, like, TBS, that they're letting that happen at, like, 9 o'clock at night? I mean, okay.
All right.
I guess TV's different now. I'm a little surprised that the network isn't mad. But as a wrestling fan, I'm not shocked. I'm not mad. I go, cool. Got people talking. It was on TMZ. Usually WWE's the only wrestling company on TMZ, but this got people talking. Good. It's what you want. Good job, AEW. Good job, Jon Moxley, sacrificing your body for the business. That's what it's all about, brother.
Well, nothing but respect for him doing that, because, wow, that I wasn't expecting that whatsoever. And that's kind of the great thing in wrestling, when you can watch something and it's like, you know, you see it coming, but then when you don't see it coming, you're like, whoa, Like that really gets you to stand out and like you really pay attention more. And I think you felt it on X. Like there were a lot more comments about that match. Like we both got them, I think. Just people commenting about that match just in general. So clearly it worked. Like again, I thought maybe the pulling out of the nails was a little bit gruesome to watch. And I don't know if we needed to really see all that kind of stuff. And maybe they should have thought that. I don't know if there was a lot in terms of the thought processes of that. Because I think Wheeler was just trying to pull out as hard as he could. And then Moxley was like, whoa, calm down.
Yeah,
like,
that's not always a good move to pull it out right away. Sometimes things have to be pulled out really slow because maybe they're
in.
A vein could be like affected or something. You know.
Yeah. It was, yeah. But they got it out.
It worked out okay. Like, honestly, I would have been okay if he finished the match like that. Because, I mean, he wasn't pinned afterwards, right? But I guess that was the thing. There was a false finish. So that's why they kind of needed to pull it out for that to work. But, I mean, in the end, I guess he's fine. One thing, though, I feel Renee should have been reacting a bit to this. Because we see her in interviews afterwards, and she kind of no-sells it. I feel like she should have sold it a little bit.
Yeah. She's kind of staying neutral on the whole thing, acting like it's not happening.
But we've also had her like talking to Moxley sometimes, asking like, "What the hell are you doing?" kind of thing, you know. So she's actually not completely neutral. And when something like that happens, you can't tell me she's not freaking out or something. Like I have a hard time believing she didn't have some sort of like, oh my goodness moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably for real too.
Yeah.
But the Renee character in AEW has not been written consistently. Like sometimes she's Jon Moxley's wife and she has all the emotions that you might expect, and sometimes she's just the backstage interviewer, even though her husband is like running amok in the company and she's interviewing the guy that he's like threatened to bludgeon to death like 5 minutes earlier, you know?
No one's acknowledging it.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's like, oh, no, she's just an interviewer, just like anybody else. She has no relation to Jon Moxley.
Didn't like MJF or something say like, tell your husband to stop this or something?
Yeah. I mean, once in a while they'll do it, but for the most part they kind of act like they're not related. And then once in a while they act like they're very related and Renee's like all upset or involved with Eddie Kingston or whatever. You know what I mean?
Ugh.
Remember all that?
Hobbs thing.
The Will Hobbs. Yeah, like sometimes she gets involved, but for the most part she doesn't. It's not consistent. It's not, I don't know. It's weird. But eventually, all of Moxley's goons came out to try and help him beat Edge. And then the FTR came out to help Edge and fight off those guys. And then everybody kind of cleared out, and Mox put the choke on Edge, and Edge passed out. And then Mox left, and FTR or Dax seemed to get mad at Edge.
Yep.
And then FTR like kind of argued, so there's beef with FTR and Edge, or Dax and Edge, and I guess the other one is not mad. I don't know what's going on there.
There's friction there. Cash Wheeler seemed okay with what happened with Edge, like crap happens, but Dax seemed kind of disappointed that he didn't win, and I guess mad. But I don't know what's going to happen now with FTR. It's kind of weird. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. What? I didn't need all that FTR breakup stuff.
Yeah. Why does that seem to happen to Edge wherever he goes? He has like a little faction, and then they kind of turn on him. It happened with Judgment Day. He was their leader, and then they're like, we don't need you anymore.
I think it's, the idea of Edge is great, but once you get to know him, you kind of grow to hate him.
Yeah.
Kind of a dick. Anyways, Christian was
better. Christian, what got involved, Christian kind of cost
him
the match, right? So.
Yeah, Christian's goons came out too and attacked Edge when everybody else cleared out.
Hired goons?
Yeah, the little one. Nick Wayne hit his thing on Edge, which helped Moxley win. No, he wasn't there. Luchasaurus has been gone for months.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's at.
He had an illness. He's probably coming back soon.
Okay.
But yeah, he was sick, and it was Kip Sabian was the other one.
Yeah.
Oof.
Old Kipster.
Everyone's favorite.
Mercedes Moné beat Billy Starks on Dynamite, John, in a match that happened.
I thought that was a pretty good match. Did you see like when Billy like dropped Mercedes right on her head?
That was crazy.
That was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was kind of blown away that she had the right frame of mind to put her foot on the rope too, because I thought she was knocked out for a second.
Mercedes is good. Tony Storm, though, is the best. And she made that Megan Bayne Chris Statlander match so much better as the main event of Dynamite. Tony Storm on commentary was fantastic. And the match itself was pretty good, too. I liked it. Statlander's very good. I like Megan Bayne. She's not bad.
I think the most impressive thing was the crowd was very much into this as well. Like, I thought they'd be kind of dead after they saw the Moxley and Edge match, but they were still into this main event. They still reacted very well. I enjoyed the whole, like, saying Shivani was involved in the JFK files. Yeah, that was funny. I enjoyed that kind of stuff. Like, Tony had some good lines, and it was a good end towards it. The whole, like, Megan, Tony, like, face-off kind of thing that happened. And I guess that's another match for Dynasty as well. It's going to happen.
Yes, Tony Storm and Megan Bayne. Tony Storm's quote on the mic, "My God, you're a big bitch," to Megan Bayne. Pretty good. But what did she say? The bigger they are, the harder they come. So let's get tantric. I thought that was quite a line. Because she's Tony Storm and she's going to knock your tits off.
And she's going to keep this strap on.
Yes. Oh, my God. So saucy. Such saucy language from Tony Storm. She is great. She's got so many good lines. Oh,
it feels like she comes up with herself.
She was so good on commentary, and she just made Megan Bayne more interesting just by talking about her. Yeah, of course she's coming up with this herself.
But, like, it's not
no one
easy.
else in AEW is doing this.
Sometimes it's like references to old movies she does. And
she's very talented.
Some of their legs can, like...
crush some melons.
Yeah, crush some watermelons.
They certainly have crushed melons or something. Like, they've done it before.
Yep.
It's like an equal parts flirting and threatening. It's great.
Yeah. She's got this great character down perfectly, and her promos are great. On commentary, she's great. The matches are great. Like, she is the star of AEW. I don't know if there's anybody better in the whole company than Tony Storm.
Well, I think some people would argue match-wise, maybe. You know, like Ospreay. I mean, like, but
yeah.
That's a cup of tea in that sense as well. I feel Tony might be more of the complete package.
Yeah, Tony Storm's got everything.
Yeah.
Ospreay's not cutting consistently incredible promos like Tony Storm. You put Ospreay on commentary, it's not going to be what Tony Storm did on Wednesday night.
Well, it goes to show that I think Tony has a better character than Ospreay. Ospreay is just kind of a normal kind of guy. Like, it's cool what he is and all that, but Tony, I think, has more defined character and more entertaining character.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I think Tony is probably the best character AEW has.
Yeah.
The best. And the best homegrown, like, character that they have created or housed, however you want to put it.
Yeah. I mean, do you count MJF? MJF's pretty good, too.
I don't know if he's a character. I think that may be him.
But, I mean, that all came together more so in AEW. Yeah. I mean, he kind of had it a little bit before, but, I mean, he really honed it here.
Yeah, MJF is fantastic. He's really good.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's really coming into their own as well in AEW is Ricochet. Like, that guy's character work has been fantastic. Yeah. Like, where has this been?
Yeah,
He's
it was
so
never
good
on SmackDown.
He's got this confidence now. He's incredible in AEW. He's a main eventer.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the title, to be honest, the Dynasty.
How's he? Ricochet?
Yeah.
Oh, Kenny's title.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's winning. Kenny just won that title.
Yeah, but Kenny doesn't need to have a long title reign, though.
Moxley needs to lose the belt. It's time. It's Swerve time.
That's official.
Yeah, Swerve Moxley for the belt at Dynasty. Let's go. Give it to Swerve. No more waiting around. Like, it's enough with Moxley. It's time to make this company about Swerve, MJF, Hangman Page, Darby Allin, Kenny Omega. These are the people that the whole company should be about. It shouldn't be about Moxley anymore. We need to focus on Swerve, Hangman, MJF primarily. These are the guys. And there are other guys around. Will Ospreay. Sorry, Will Ospreay. I forgot about him, and we should not forget about him. Mm-hmm. But those 4 guys, the core 4, they are the core 4. Remember when you had the 4 pillars in AEW, and it was MJF and Darby Allin and Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara?
Not Britt Baker?
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
but they had that, like, remember they had that 4-way match thing,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, okay, first, where's Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara now? Darby, I think, is going to come back and still be something huge in AEW. But, like...
Well, MJF said he might be dead up on a hill or something.
On a mountain, but he will be back. But MJF, Super Chat. Darby Allin, Swerve Strickland, Hangman Page, Will Ospreay, and I would throw in Kenny Omega to this. Like, that is 6 guys that you could do matches with for the next 4 or 5 years that will tear the house down and just kill anything else in pro wrestling. The whole company should be about them. The whole title belt, the world title scene, the main event should be all about those 6 guys. They have the talent. They have the opportunity. They just need to let it rip. And first step is getting the belt off Moxley as quick as possible, because the longer you keep it on Jon Moxley, the more fans are going to keep tuning away from AEW and never go back. And you'll never get these people back. The longer you keep the belt on Moxley, the more people you drive away. And you'll never get them back unless you turn the goddamn ship around now. Stop the bleeding.
I'm in the middle of turning a fucking tanker.
But seriously, they got to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Because everybody I talk to goes, man, AEW, I like it, but Moxley, it hasn't been.
It's been boring.
Everybody is tired of Jon Moxley. Everybody. They got to see the signs. They got to move it around. It's enough. I saw Bryan Danielson say, I might not wrestle again. I'm 50-50. I might have to have neck surgery, and I really don't want to do that. So if I can just rest and not wrestle again and avoid neck surgery and be able to live comfortably but not wrestle again but also avoid neck surgery, then I would rather do that. So he may never wrestle again. So if you're waiting for Bryan Danielson to come back and get his revenge and take the belt back from Moxley, you may be waiting forever. So now that we know that, we know it's time. It's time. Move on from Moxley. It's done. This group has sucked. Moxley's title reign has sucked the life out of AEW. It's time for a change.
Enough is enough.
I mean, everybody's talking about the Owen Hart Cup. Heed his words. Enough is enough. And it's time for a change. But I don't know if, because in the Owen Hart Cup, everybody's talking about it, I don't know if it's going to be at Dynasty, Swerve and Moxley. Yeah. I think it might be like Ospreay or Hangman winning the Owen, and then at whatever Double or Nothing, then taking the belt from Moxley, right?
But that's like another 3 months, 4 months of this shit.
Shit.
Like,
well, that's absurd. I don't know. Like, I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can handle it.
Well, just to clarify a couple of things, Double or Nothing's end of May, I think.
Oh, there you go.
And
so it's like 2 months.
2 months.
But I believe to win the Owen, you get the title shot at All In.
Which is July.
Yes.
So why are they talking about winning the Owen now? Like, Hangman's talking about the Owen, and Will Ospreay is talking about the Owen. They're talking about entering a tournament that hasn't started yet, so they get a title shot in July?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think we're going to have matches at Dynasty and probably Double or Nothing as well. I think we're going to have, like, first-round matches at Dynasty, and the finals are probably going to be at Double or Nothing, I think. You're loving this, aren't you?
Wait. It's a lot of TV to fill.
And see, this is what I mean by they have the guys, they just got to make it happen. And
then, like, by July,
then you
like,
give me
Swerve is hurt.
You give me a 4-month tournament, And I got to wait and be bored by Jon Moxley. And we know that nothing Moxley actually does between now and July will mean anything because the big title match is then, and that's when he'll drop the belt.
Well, no, not necessarily. I could see Swerve win the title, and I could see MJF win the Owen Hart's tournament. So
there you go.
That
Thank
works,
you.
no?
Give me yes, of course. Anything works. Honestly,
just get the belt off.
Get the belt off Moxley and give it to Swerve or MJF or Hangman or Kenny or Ospreay or Darby. One of those guys.
I think it's going to happen. And just when it happens is the big question mark. Hopefully it happens at Dynasty. I'm hoping for that. I think Swerve has a great chance because he won it last year at Dynasty. Make Dynasty his event.
Yeah.
Hopefully it happens.
I hope so. Harold Schneider dropping a super chat says, never liked Moxley or Dean Ambrose. Yep. Mm-hmm. I liked Moxley more than Dean Ambrose. Like when he came into AEW, I was like, oh, this is kind of different. This is new. This is kind of fun, but it wore out its welcome. Johnny, when can people see you in the ring? I know you have a big match with Gangrel coming up.
Yeah, that's April 11th. I'll be teaming with Gangrel. That's pretty awesome against Soa Min and Mr. Marvelous in Sudbury for Project X Wrestling, April 11th. That's a big one. Wow. March 29th, I'm at John Abbott College Wrestling for the Mad Dog Heavyweight Championship in a tournament. And April 19th, I'm in St. Basil. It's a big heavyweight show. In St. Basil, PCO is going to be on the show.
Oh.
Yeah. Beast King's on the show. A lot of big guys. And, of course, me on the show. So it'll be pretty good. Jeremy Prophet will also be on the show. A lot of big guys.
Wow.
A lot of big things coming up next couple of weeks.
Well, big news for Johnny North. Big matches coming up. Oh, sad news, Johnny North.
Oh.
The legendary George Foreman has passed away.
Oh, man. I didn't know
That's
that.
very sad.
Rest in peace.
Rumble in the Jungle.
To former heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, one of the greatest boxers of all time, George Foreman. Fought Muhammad Ali, fought all the greats. Legend of boxing.
That grill, too.
Big Joe Foreman. The Foreman Grill, of course.
Wasn't it supposed to be the Hogan one?
Oh, yeah. brother, it was supposed to be the Hogan Grill. They also asked me to fight Ali in Africa, brother, but I said I couldn't do it, brother. They wanted me to be there instead of George Foreman, too, brother. They wanted me to box Logan Paul on Netflix, brother, but I couldn't do it, so they gave it to Mike Tyson, dude.
And the first guy to fight in the UFC, too. They asked.
Yeah, they wanted me to fight in the UFC. I would have beaten that Royce Gracie, brother. Yeah, they knew it, so they told me that I couldn't fight, brother.
Apparently, I fought Pride Fighters in 1979, like decades before it even existed.
Yeah, I fought all those Pride guys back in the 70s when I wrestled in Tokyo, brother. Pride was in.
Did he play baseball for the Yankees too, or something? Like,
oh yeah, brother.
Yeah, sure.
Metallica wanted me in their band, but I had to turn them down, brother. Yeah, everything.
I was going to be in Star Wars, brother.
Yeah.
You want me to be Luke
Muppets
Skywalker,
in space.
brother?
Not too bad. Like,
I was in the JFK files. I killed Kennedy, brother.
Yeah, I was on the grassy knoll.
Yeah, that
if
was
you look,
me,
you can see a boa. The picture's in black and white, but the boa is red and yellow, brother.
Yeah. So rest in peace, George Foreman.
Yeah, rest in peace, George Foreman. Much love,
brother.
HH.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
They wanted me to die, brother, but I said no way. Hulk Hogan doesn't
I'm not feeling
die.
that, brother.
They didn't know Hulkamania was immortal, dude.
Kicking out, brother.
I kicked out, dude.
Yeah, George Foreman, legendary boxer.
Will we ever see Hogan on WWE television again?
I think yes, because John Cena and The Rock need a third man, Hollywood Hogan, brother.
That's right, brother.
Ultimate heat.
You don't see the vision, brother.
You want to see real heat? You want to see a real Hollywood power together? The biggest names in wrestling, the biggest icons in wrestling. You see Hollywood Hogan, brother, comes out of WrestleMania to help Rock and Cena,
making
brother.
his way down the ramp very slowly.
Very slowly, brother.
Whose side is he on? Come on.
Yeah, whose side is he on? When you need a third man for an evil group in wrestling, there's only one guy to call. That's Terry, brother. Hulk Hogan.
I wouldn't mind if Mike Cole said the Tony Schiavone line of Hulk Hogan, "You go to hell." Like that. That was a pretty good line when he said it. So
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin apparently said like he's gonna be at Mania, or
He's going to be there. He's
It's
going to be
confirmed.
around. He may be helping Cody.
Yeah, it seems like
he's there for
the
autograph signings for sure. Both days.
Yeah.
So it's likely he'll show up on the show.
I expect him.
Yeah, Cody's keeping the title.
Yeah. Austin knows if he's good with WWE, he could get like a Netflix TV show out of it. Like, you know.
Broken Skull Challenge thing. Yeah.
On Netflix, dude.
His beer on the ring.
Yeah, you know, like, he knows there's money to be made. He's not stupid. All right, guys, we thank you for watching. We thank you for supporting. Thank you to Harold Schneider. You're the Super Chat Leader of the Week. Thank you to Angelo Contagonis, gifting the membership and all your support throughout the years. Harold, Angelo, Patrick Deneau, Leor, everybody supporting the Ringside Report Network over at join.ringsidereport.net and donate.ringsidereport.net. We appreciate you keeping the lights on here on the channel. We have a kind of slow month of March. Nothing on the weekends, you know, but April will be picking up. We'll see AEW Dynasty. We'll see WrestleMania. We'll see UFC 314. There's a lot of stuff coming up in the month of April, and the month of March is, starting to wind down. So we'll be with you a lot in April. So thank you for supporting us here on the channel. And I'll be back Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time with AJ and Freddie for Ringside Report MMA right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time, and have a good night.